Rachel, thank you so much for joining me. I've really wanted to
Thanks.
talk to you for the longest time.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here, and I just love to have some adult conversation amongst all of the insane.
I know, it's fantastic. Great. We're in such bizarre times at the moment. As I said, you 4 kids and I've got 3, and we're trying to just juggle all of this along with work and your incredibly busy schedule. I I feel like you are really the face of the fearless woman in our country and taking on such important issues, blazing a trail and really facing them head on right now. You and Siya are using your platforms to do such good. The Kolisi Foundation and Rise Women. Tell me, where did that kind of drive start for you? Was it something that was instilled in you from very early on when you were growing up, that drive to just transform?
Mm. It definitely wasn't instilled in me, and my mom was quite a fierce woman, um, and I guess I got a bit of that from her. But as far as I've always been a tough girl, but as far as leading a change or being a part of a movement, not so much. I just think that the whole of last year, I knew we were going to win the World Cup. I planned all of my flights, all of my everything, like even Rise, like all of the dates for Rise were planned around the winning of the World Cup. And so Sia and I kind of went into the World Cup with a plan already of what we wanted to do afterwards, because we didn't want to waste the opportunity. And I think that, it's such a short time that you have that amount of influence. You can look at, you know, these days influence is changing among people so quickly. So like, where we had the greats of like Nelson Mandela and Muhammad Ali and all of those kinds of people. Sia's story is incredible, but there will potentially be a next Siya Kolisi that will also have an incredible story, and I think that things are moving at such a rapid rate, such a rapid pace, that you've almost got to use what you have while you have it, and use the influence you have, and not to waste that. And I think social media these days is just filled with, for lack of better words, crap.
Yeah.
And there's a pandemic among women in itself of just comparison, like comparing each other instead of appreciating, the beauty and the diverseness of each woman. We almost like, oh, why don't I look like that? Or I'm less of a woman because, I don't have the parenting altogether, whatever. And I'm just like, how cool if we could all just, appreciate the good things about each other. So it's just feeling like we need to use the influence that we have now, and use it for good, because it only lasts so long and then it's over.
Absolutely. You've touched on that point of using your influence for good, and particularly women, I think, are probably, for very obvious reasons, a cause seems to be close to your heart. And Rise Women, you started with Tammy Rawstron. It seems to me to be far more than just a fitness regime. I think it looks like it takes on the transformation of body, mind, and soul, and walks along a journey with someone.
It's just about getting in a room of women, like seeing, you can feel, you don't have to even say anything or do anything, but just being in a room of women that are there for the same reasons or similar reasons that you are, but like-minded women that want to be better and want to be a part of the change. There's something so powerful that happens in that room, and I'm telling you, you cannot possibly put it into words. So Rise was, because of this pandemic, with women of comparison and just attacking one another and breaking one another, we wanted to come in the opposite spirit, and we didn't really know what that looked like. But of course, I had been on a transformation course, and Tam was my personal trainer, and it's something that she's extremely passionate about, is helping women live more purposeful lives through health and fitness. And that was the intention, to just grab hands with a bunch of other women and walk the journey with them. And Rise grew so much quicker than we could have ever imagined. I mean, within a year, we've met with it must be well over like 7,000 women now. And we just have such an incredible community of women that just love on one another and appreciate one another. And it really is like, I haven't had a negative moment in Rise to date, and it's over a year now, and I haven't had a moment where I'm just like, ooh, like this was a bad idea. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm obsessed with everything that it stands for, and more so with the amount of lives that we're able to help along the way.
You have a really strong social responsibility voice. Um, and I guess coming with that, using your voice, the downside is that people are going to use their voice back and not always in a positive light. So, how do you
Mm.
take on that negative sentiment that inevitably is going to come your way? Because you really do handle it and lead with real compassion and with grace, which I love. But that can't be easy all the time.
Yeah, it's probably not always a good thing, but you know who I love how she manages this kind of thing is Chrissy Teigen. So she doesn't always get stuck into people, but when she does, she lets them know.
Yes, exactly.
And I've always been like attracted to that, where I've just been like, yes, like tell them it's not right. Like, yes, stand your ground. And I'm just like, this whole thing, like I cringe when people are like, oh, you should just ignore it. We all love you so much. And I'm just like, yeah, but hey, like imagine having somebody else tell you that your kids are half breeds and bastards. Like, how would you feel? So I'm just like, I just stem so much. I just love how she does it, and it's always comical as well. So it's never like a full-on personal attack on anybody. It's just like it's always a bit of a laugh and sarcastic. So um, when I do, I don't always, but when I do feel that it's important for people to know that you can't just say whatever you want on social media and expect someone to just be quiet because you know you think that we should sit and be concerned about brands that might fire us or um, people that might unfollow us. Literally, I could care less. Like, thank goodness I'm in a position that I can feel that way, but I could care less. And I just think it's really important, especially for woman in this time, to feel like you can stand up for yourself. And if someone's going to hit at you on social media, then by all means you're welcome to, without it doesn't need to be a whole war. So what I always do is I say my thing and then I'm done. I will not respond again after that. So you can send me 20 messages after that, I won't respond again. So I say what I think and then I'm done with that.
When I originally started this project, I was going to call it the President's Wife because I was so interested. It's changed, of course, but I was so interested in speaking to people that are the pillars of support for the people that we see in media, and not
Mm,
necessarily not that I don't find it interesting, the people that are in the
mm,
media, but I think that there's so much that goes into the support system that lifts that person
mm,
up.
mm,
And I'm sure that you see a lot of that. How have you guided your family through that process of
mm.
being a support for each other?
Yeah, I think it's super important. And I mean, during COVID is, we had it nailed outside of COVID, and then COVID just threw like a spanner in the works. So it's just been a whole nother journey of navigating that all over again. Like, I'm grateful that my husband has at least managed to be home during this time. So uh, there was a time after we got married and we had all our kids, and I was like, sure, but do you think we're going to be able to like be married after like you've retired and you're home all the time, and like our kids are all gone? Like, what are we going to do? Can we even like have a like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's been like a great test run, and so far I'm like, okay, we can stay married, that's
You can
fine.
say,
I think it's important to prioritize yourself above everything else. So yes, as much as you're pouring into somebody else's cup and making sure that they're feeling supported and your kids are taken care of and everybody in the house is fine, you've got to make sure that you are first.
mm,
And it's difficult for women to accept that sometimes. We have this thing like, oh, but that's so selfish. Like, it's my job to give, nurture, nurture, nurture. But it's important to just realize that you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to be able to take care of yourself, to give the best of yourself to other people. You have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and it's not always easy, but it's important that I think women prioritize that, and that's something that I do. I have to prioritize me, and if it seems selfish to some people, then so be it. But to me, that's what works for me.
yeah, I think you are. you and Siya are both earth angels, and just keep doing the incredible good that you're doing and inspiring so many by example. There was a beautiful quote that I read that I think it was Siya's that said, if we educate our sons, we won't have to protect our daughters. And I love that. It's such a powerful, it's such a powerful point. So I admire you both so much, and I know so many people do. And I'm so grateful for you sharing a bit of your story with me. Thank you.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And yeah, I can't wait to listen to it and share it.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel.